Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 757, Time to Be Better, recorded live on October 29th, 2020. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts tonight, Duststorm.
I am Godzilla T.
And I am ridiculous, also known as Pete.
I mean,
I'm just testing out my blight button. Making sure it works, because I'm going to need it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Headphone users volume warning tonight. There may be a loud beep
the truth.
Every 12 seconds while DJ is talking.
Yep.
Yes.
We've got another gifted sub right off the bat from Pins for Misa Red.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's 60 gifted sub for Pins. Are you just made of money?
Made of loyalty.
There is that. We do appreciate that.
Joy.
But please don't break the bank on us. I mean, we certainly appreciate it, but...
Break the bank on me, I don't care.
Soon his gifted sub count's going to go past his month sub count.
Right, there you go. All right.
Yeah. All right, well, we're happy to have you back, DJ. It's been
Thanks.
Quite a wild ride, I'm sure, as you know. We did have a guest last week to fill your spot.
Oh, good. Who was it?
We had Andrew from Team Respawn, who's one of the premier Halo Wars communities within the greater Halo community.
Neat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think we had him
that's
on
great.
About 3 or 4 years ago, so I didn't know we actually had him on. He actually remembered, because I did a lookup before the show, and I just couldn't find it. But he gave us a little update on how the Halo Wars community is going, and surprisingly, there's still quite a few people that regularly play Halo Wars Definitive Edition and Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
So it was a good update to hear from him.
Cool.
Yeah. How have you been? How was your absence from last week? Because you had some work you were getting done.
So some of it I can talk about. Some of it, all I can say is it's covered under NDA. So I can just say I've been recording voices.
I was
for
busy.
some games. Yeah, and I had some voice tracks that I needed to take care of, and so we had a lot of scripting to do and some rewrites and some other things to get done. So yeah, it's been very busy work, and development within Insula has been picking up and taking off. And of course, this week has been a unique opportunity to experience what it's like to reach a level of understanding about my patience with people.
The
More on that
limits
later.
Of that patience.
More on that later.
But yeah, other than that, we've just been getting ready for tomorrow. We've got a major event tomorrow night for Gamers Vote.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, because you're going to be up in lights there a little bit, aren't you, bud?
Yep, I'm gonna definitely be in a position where I'm not. I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but I'm a little nervous. I will be normally every Friday we have the Astro Weekend Kickoff, which is house music that we do with Astro Gaming, Logitech GMs, and microphones on my channel. We're swapping days, and we're gonna actually have the Astro Weekend Dance Party tomorrow night from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific, right here live on Twitch on my channel. But from 7 to 9, we are going to be featured on the front page of Twitch, because we are teaming up with shotcall.gg and gamers.vote. And the whole purpose is to make sure people are aware of the opportunity and the importance of getting the vote out. We don't care who you're voting for, just that you make sure that your voice is heard. As gamers, we represent a massive population of people who have the ability to help change the way the world is and the world exists that we live in. And it's important that we make our voices heard, that we are getting the right leaders into the right positions to make sure that they are helping to protect the future that we want to live in. What that future is, that's between you and the voting machine. That's between you and the polls. But making sure that your voice is heard is absolutely imperative, especially here in the United States. So get up, get out, Get it done. Tomorrow we've got a massive party to celebrate that for those of you who have, and way of encouraging people to, hey, you know what? Take that energy, take that opportunity, and get out there and make sure that you get that taken care of. Get into the mail, get into the ballot box, go to the poll, stand in line, get your thing done, get your little sticker that says, I voted. Put it on your nipple and flick it.
If that tickles your fancy.
Just had to add to flick it, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. If
I'm terrified. Yeah.
If you're old enough to vote and you've registered to vote, please go vote. Please make your voices heard.
So I think our largest front page event on Mixer, I think the largest DJ set that I ever did there, we had 2,400, 2,400 people on the channel, and we were there for 2 hours as well. It was for Pride. I think it was for Pride.
Was it only 24?
Yeah, I think we capped at 20. I remember the largest number I remember seeing was 2,400. It might have been higher.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
What is scaring me is that I've been looking at the front page features over the last several days, and they're getting 15 to 20,000. So I will need all of my mods on deck for any that are available during the show, and we're just going to have to turn on it because we don't have Catbot like we used to, which was brilliant. And now I just got to turn on all the streaming hoo-has to say, hey, don't be a jerkwad in the channel.
Yep. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Proud for you, bud.
Yep, a little terrified on that one. So we're going to have fun with that tomorrow. And yeah, that's what's happening.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yep.
I will be joining you on the tail end of that, at least. We are watching, there's a New York City project thing, and my wife and I are big Hocus Pocus fans. And what?
Really?
I forgot to turn my phone off. There we go.
Geez. Would you put your hoo-ha away?
You know what? It always gets in. It's always coming out in all the wrong spots.
Anyways, New York Restoration Project has teamed up with the 3 actresses who played the Sanderson sisters in the Hocus Pocus movies, and they're having a special event tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. So we're going to watch that while we're carving pumpkins, and then once we're done with that, I'm going to hop on over and help DJ mod his stream and make sure that we're not getting crazies all around the place. So yeah.
What are they broadcasting that on?
Twitch.tv/DJBluePDX. Yeah.
Yep.
So
go on over there. If you have not followed, please go over and follow DJ. He's a huge influence in the, not just the Halo community, but just kind of gaming community as a whole.
Thank you.
So yeah, go over, follow his channel. If you like what you see, consider subscribing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I will sadly be at work.
Still be at work?
Yeah.
Okay. Just turn on in the store, dance your butts off.
Oh, so is there no Friday tomorrow?
The funny thing is they let me go to YouTube, but I can't do Twitch.
Awkward.
Are you working late tomorrow?
I probably will have to miss the first part of it.
Because so the stream is 6 to 9 Pacific. So that's 8 to, but you're going to be hosting Friday.
Yeah, never mind. I had it backwards. So yeah, I'll be home.
That would be UK time. Technically Iceland time.
I want to go back to Iceland.
Yes, Prestige, there is Fraggin' Friday.
Yes,
there is Fraggin' Friday tomorrow. Definitely Fraggin' Friday, Prestige.
Friday.
Yes. Always a Fraggin' Friday.
Yes, it's there.
It'll be a very
wouldn't
special
be Friday if you weren't fragging.
And it's going to be.
Not what I meant.
It's not going to just be Fraggin' Friday. It's going to be Spookin' Friday.
Spooky Fraggin' Fridays.
Yes.
It's an SFF. SF squared. That's like something, I'm sure, in mathematics or chemistry.
Do tell.
I would, but I'm not smart enough. I don't do the maths.
All right, let's hop into our Podtacular community update. Start with Fraggin' Friday recap from last week.
We played video games.
Oh yeah?
We had a lot of fun. Let's see. We did Halo 5, and we spent a sizable chunk of the night in Super Fiesta.
Very nice.
We tried Warzone, but our group was too large, so we couldn't find a game. I take that back. We did find a game, and I believe we actually won.
Very good.
Sorry, it's been one of those weeks. I've been looking to remember my name all week. But all in all, we had a great time. We ended up with some customs at the end of the night, and played some new ones. So, trying to rotate out the old library. I did finally get a chance to sit down and clean up my library and make sure I had the correct game types that went with the maps. So that was a big help.
Very good.
And chaos ensued.
I'm sure. It always does. But it's always fun.
Speed.
I love speed.
We are speed.
Speed is one of my favorite customs. Actually, DJ, I don't know if we've asked you this or if I've asked you this since Outpost happened, but like from all the custom games and like action stack type games that you've seen or played, what's your favorite other than Griffball?
Other than Griffball?
Yeah, other than Griffball.
There's Griff for all, obviously.
Nothing that pertains to Griff. Something else other than Griff.
Hammers and Sword Slayer. I do love Super Fiesta because you can get hammers and swords in it. Yeah.
I should have seen where that was going, but I totally didn't.
Honestly, my favorite when it comes to customs, one of my favorite games ever was on the 360. It was in Halo 4 in Forge World, and it was the Slenderman.
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
The Slenderman. So back in Halo, the original 360 Halo 4 was amazing because first of all, the best flood there ever was, because there were these big giant half tree horse sounding creatures from hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and you're like, what? It was crazy. But you have these giant glowing alpha floods, which were indestructible. Now the Slenderman map was built under the water in Forge Island. What you didn't know is if you get out of the water, you put a spawn under the water line, and then you go live, right? And you flip from the Oracle to your Spartan, fall in the water, you die. You respawn under the water on that spawn, and then you flip back to the Oracle, and that's how you get underneath. And down below the waterline, what people don't realize is there is an entirely massive substructure of mountains and trees and things and stuff. And you can place all this stuff down there. Now, under the water, it is covered in, there's a visible hue and haze because it looks like fog, which means if you're playing Slenderman, it creates the perfect Halo horror environment. And it was madness because you had to survive on the clock and everybody got to run. And then suddenly Psychopants came out and everything went nuts. And it was incredible. And I spent many an hour running for my life or trying to kill everybody that I could find. And it was always hilarious.
That was one of the customs that we used to play quite a bit on Podtacular game nights when Halo 4 was the game, the latest game. So, yep, definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
GT should remember those.
Yeah, the one we played was actually above ground.
Really?
It was on the Big Island.
Wow.
Big Island. Sure, why not? Why not call it that?
There's several versions of that. There's also another version which was all done in a like a cave structure where that I was actually trying to find that one and I couldn't find it. I'm still looking, but it looks like that one may not have got ported over to MCC, sadly.
A bunch of things didn't get ported over, ironically.
I don't remember that one, so I'll have to.
Well, I couldn't remember is if it was on Reach or if it was on Halo 4.
Anything that would have been anything that would have been cave in Halo 4 would have had to have been forged with rocks.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, all right. Could be then. If anyone knows,
it was just a labyrinth of rocks, and you were in the dark, so you couldn't actually see.
I wonder if it's on Halo Custom somewhere. If it'd be listed anywhere.
Yeah.
Might
Unfortunately, those websites don't have a great way to search or to filter.
Halo Customs, I thought, was pretty good with that. Forge Hub's a little bit difficult, but I thought Halo Customs they put some work together to make that easier. But I could be wrong. For Achieving Halo, didn't do it this past week because both my wife and I are really tired after camping for the weekend, so just did not do Fragging Friday. No website posts. So going on, we're on to our company commendations. We are still chipping away at splatters. We are 124 away for those. 4776 away. And then we've got the headshots and the standard weapon kills closely right behind it. So that's what we've got over there. And then in the Podtacular community side of things on our Discord, I think we had a couple people post some stuff. Yeah, Comfel posted a video on his YouTube of him getting a Kiltastrophe.
Nice.
In Husky Raid on the control room map. He had the answer
To the question?
Yes, the question of people were. His question was kind of like, why didn't I reload to keep my streak going?
Would have lasted longer if you'd had a hammer.
Husky Raid? Not necessarily.
You can throw the hammer. Just kidding.
That would be a sick mechanic if you could actually like throw weapons and infinite. That would be nuts.
Could be cool.
3 for 3, if you're listening, that'd be a really cool mechanic. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We can already throw fusion coils. Why not throw weapons?
You can throw a grunt. You can throw a gun.
Yeah, that works. I'll take it.
All right.
And
God
then we've
damn it,
got
GT.
some more cosplay build updates from MH Cosplay. He actually got featured in the community spotlight this week. His M6S Magnum, which we've actually talked about a little bit. He that was featured. What?
It's the damn clown.
Oh.
He can't unsee it now.
I can't unsee it. And every time I look over, every time it's coming across, I'm like, oh, why?
I'm sorry I said anything. For those of our audio listeners, our GT is using the full extent of his webcam software and has a little frame that is very spooky inspired, and there's this semi-transparent.
I'm Halloweening.
Yes, he's very Halloweening it up tonight.
It'd be one thing if it was just like, hey, we've got Bouncy the Clown coming across in some sort of a small manner, but no, he's got the world's most high. I will serial kill your off, and there we go. I almost swore and I stopped myself even though I let go of the button. I want you to know I'm adulting today, but that clown is terrifying.
I can confirm it. It's coming out right now.
Oh, it's back again.
Anyways, what we got for matchmaking update? GT, just might have to have you turn it off.
Nope, it's fine. It needs to be here.
Okay, all right.
I'm nicknaming your clown Twitter. All right.
Oh.
What? Oh, we're getting into it tonight. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, folks. It's happening.
I know we are. All right. GT matchmaking updates. Go.
Oh, yeah. Right, sure. Excuse me. For October 29th, Roaming Kings rotating in for Action Sack. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play any Action Sack.
Neither have I.
I was going to try to get some new game types out of that, but I never took the opportunity. We also have Warzone Turbo going live this week.
Turbo time!
Okay. You feel better?
Yes. Thank you.
As for next weekend, November 5th, I will be on vacation. Yay! Oh.
It's fine. You're only missing H2BR Slayer. No one cares about that.
Yeah, it's H2BR Slayer rotating in for Roaming King.
Battle Royale Slayer. Totally legit.
Yeah, wrong BR.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's more like a BS, but anyway.
I'm still on the Halo's perfect for a BR train, but...
Oh.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's built into the lore.
No.
There are trains in the lore?
And
can you imagine a train battle with Spartans? Let's go on.
There is a train terminal. Halo 2 map.
Yeah, the train always wins. Always wins.
Yes. Always wins. All right, what we got for MCC?
Looks like we got some playlist changes. Rocket Race takes off for H2A and Halo 3 in 2v2v2v2 multi-team.
Rocket Race. That's fun.
Rocket Race!
Reach had the best Rocket Race, in my opinion. Well, 3 was pretty good too.
Yeah. They both had their
Yeah.
good stuff, but yeah.
Halo 3 had the good maps for it. Halo Reach felt like it had some of the little more refined mechanics for it.
I don't know, Rocket Race on, what was it, Hemorrhage was pretty good. Especially when your rocket hog gets stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things was making racetracks in Halo 4 Forge on 360.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of the best tracks came out of Halo Reach and Halo 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, just overall quality of track.
Although kudos to those who made them in Halo 3, because that took dedication.
There was a lot of alignment things that had to have been done to get those tracks to work.
Yes. And I remember the original racetrack. It was the Bungie 300 or the Bungie 500. It was made on Foundry. And the way they had the lap, it was a hill, and you get a point through it, but there were teleporters and man cannons, so you couldn't like walk through it, or else you get teleported out, and then man cannons to push you in. And that was like the very first race map in Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Bungie 500.
That one.
Yep. All right. For the MCC in development updates, we've got flighting, obviously, happening for Halo 4 on PC right now. Testing out crossplay. There's FOV sliders also on the console version, so they're testing those out. If you have not been invited to the flight, that means your your insider profile is not up to date or not accurate. Sucks to be you.
Well,
sorry.
We've said it week after week. Is like update your insider profile.
Right.
Some of the stuff that they are currently flighting is not going to be in the November 17th update that basically enhances MCC for Series X and S, but it will come at a later update. But for the most part, it sounds like people are enjoying the Halo 4 flight. Sounds like there's been quite a few bugs that have been identified as well. So keep playing it, keep testing it. Hopefully I will get a chance to hop on it this weekend. I haven't had a chance to yet. But they are looking for people to fill out the Halo 4 Squad Battle Hopper. They haven't had a lot of, or as much activity as they want in there. So if you have a chance to hop on with some players, hop on into that hopper, get some games in. Please help them test it out so when it comes out to PC, it is ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Over on the Halo Waypoint side of things, we've got a new wave of HCS grassroots content creators. So we've got the tournament organizer Halo Australia joining the HCS Grassroots program. And then 4 new streamers. We've got Lady Echidna, Mint Blitz, Trunks, and Real Life Spartan.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yay! Congratulations.
I know all those except for Trunks. I have no idea who Trunks is.
Agreed.
But we have spotlighted Real Life Spartan and Lady Echidna in our streamer showcase that I used to be good about, and I haven't been lately because mole. But Mint Blitz is one that is definitely up on the
he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, he's definitely. I'm surprised he doesn't. Well, I don't follow the Australia Halo scene too closely, but with how his clips go, like he's uploading clips daily on his YouTube channel. With how well he plays, he looks like he could play competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's.
If
like,
we could just get the Oceanic divisions back in to the competitive Halo scene without there being massive lags on input, that would be ideal.
That would be. Yep. It would be like
5G.
Pistol is the wizard.
Oh,
Pistol is the wizard. Mint Blitz would be like the warlock.
Yeah. Right? Great.
Seriously. Like he's just like the stuff that he pulls is just insane. If you haven't checked out his YouTube, we talk about, well, for those that see the show notes, it's in the show notes, but Mint Blitz. Go check him out on YouTube, Twitter. Yeah. Anyways, and then we've got the community spotlight for this
Yay!
this week. So I'm going to turn on over here, and I did check before the stream started, so it should come up just fine.
Should. Fingers crossed.
Hey, it worked.
Hey, what do you know?
It
There we
actually
go.
worked. It actually worked. Okay, so for the first one we have here, we always start with both of the creme de la creme and the snack break, just because those are kind of the top posts. This piece of a Samurai Spartan, this is by Turtle of Canada on Instagram. This takes inspiration from Super Mario Sunshine and Legend of Zelda, but overall it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Mm-hmm.
You've got different pieces of kind of the Spartan armor, definitely in that samurai theme. Obviously, it's all green for the Mjolnir colors. You have a blade that kind of looks like an energy sword, but it's a metal blade with, what do you call the blades that go back behind the hilt? Does anyone know what that technically is called?
No.
Sharp.
Well, it is sharp, yes.
No, I do not do blades, so I can't actually tell you about that one.
Got it.
Good for opening wine.
This is true.
No, I'm just saying that's what I would
Or
name
your
it.
wrists. Oh,
The themes meld really well together throughout this entire piece.
Oh,
So,
good.
It's really well done.
you know, with the way they did this, the Spartans, they kind of lend themselves to this samurai culture as well.
It kind of can fit into a lot of different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
The universal application of a hero syndrome.
Is that an actual
Here we
thing, or
go.
is that just something that you rattled off the top of your head?
Both,
Okay.
maybe.
And
I have
then,
no idea.
and then we've got a theme remix by Void Monkey.
Do we though?
on, We do. Yes, we do. This one came out of the voids for us to hear. It's Void Money, not Void Monkey. But it is a really, really cool remix. I actually took a listen to it. It kind of fits with the spooky vibe of Halloween a little bit too, with how it's done. I'm sure you probably listened to it, DJ. I don't know if you listened to it, GG,
Yep.
but what do you think?
Once.
I listened to it. I listened to some of it. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to listen tonight.
Yeah, makes sense. Overall, it was a really good remix. Stay true to the Halo tune, but you could definitely tell there's where the different influences came across for what he wanted to do with the piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
I personally have no real need for multiple Casio bouncing keyboard balls to come at me. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Call it okay. Again, there was an 80s console cabinet dropped on me. I guess I could listen to it twice. I'd have to get out from underneath it. But okay.
Fair enough. Let's go on into DJ's picks, starting with this first one here. Bits and Pieces.
Yes, bits and pieces, as though we're watching somebody being formed from all the little pieces and elements from their gameplay or their styles, or as though he came bursting through a giant iced shield of glass to say, "What's up?"
Mm-hmm.
and then shoot somebody. I just like it because of the way the art style, it really shows a good separation, not only of a two-tone, like it's a multicolor in that sense that you've got multiple different tones of blues, but against the white background, there's so many different elements of it that creates not just simplicity, but also chaos. So I like that balance and that juxtaposition between those two elements in this picture.
It reminded me a little bit of the effect that we saw from the E3 trailer last year, where you saw the ring explode in the control room for Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of that and the Halo 3 effect, where whenever you had the ring loading for the Halo 3 campaign, all the little dots coming in to assemble the ring together.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be representative of the process of spaghettification, which is what happens to your body when you enter a black hole.
Could be that too, but in the reverse.
Also true.
Yes.
So this is what happens when you exit a black hole. You become a blue Spartan.
There's worse things that you could come out as, so I'll take it.
Also true.
This next one is Sunset by Spartan CA.
Yes. Yep. This just the buildings, everything like this. It reminds me of Reach and all the different areas. You can see the difference, the area of the city. Yeah. It'd also be called Moon because it's just a big booty shot. But you see the moon after the sunset. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Three Marines by Texy Wexy.
Yes. So these 3 Marines are basically sitting here completely. This is basically them realizing that there is absolutely no future in anybody talking about anything regarding Halo on Twitter. Yeah. I'm going to go there because I can. And yeah, no, that's exactly what I feel like. The sun is setting on reality and everybody is just about to come unglued.
Lose their minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next one is Ambush on Doizak.
On Doizak? Yeah, by No Media Player. Yes. This is pretty much everybody arguing which Halo game is better. Also, there's a hammer and it's winning and everybody else can just go themselves. Using my button.
I love the mix. I love the mix of the new Banished armor and that style mixed in with the old SPI Mjolnir Gen or Mark IV. The one that's on the cover of Ghosts of Onyx.
Yep. Yeah, it's hardcore. I love it. There's a lot of violence and a lot of crazy happening here, and I dig it.
Yeah, it's a very nicely done piece. All right, on over to GT. And this is no surprise, hence being the first part of your name, Godzilla. Saddle Up by...
It's a Tyrannosaurus. That's not Godzilla. Come on, get it right.
I know it's not. It's in the same...
They're not even cousins.
I picked it because of the moon.
Oh, I thought you picked it because of the sword. Now it's less impressive.
I thought you picked it because of the armor effect. But, no. Yeah, Saddle Up by
I had the garbage
Razinor.
one. I didn't do the lightning. I did Pestilence. I stunk. That's how I played Halo Reach. Oh.
I really like this next one. I almost picked it, but I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah, I just I had to.
Yeah.
I grew up watching that. I grew up watching the movie, so I had to pick it.
Yep. This is Back to the Halo by Remnant Snow.
And if anybody's seen a poster from Back to the Future, imagine that with Master Chief and a warthog. There you go.
The first movie poster.
Yes.
Yep. The next one we have here is very appropriate for the time of year that we're in.
Twick or tweet!
Johnson handing out Toblerone to Master Chief and Arby.
Oh, I know what the Spartans like.
I would have thought that would have been better if he was handing out Sweet Williams.
Yeah, that would make sense.
There you go, little Johnny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Next one here is Timmy the Whale by Jumper XI or Jumpers XI. Timmy the Whale.
It's Timmy. Enough said.
Short, sweet point.
Yep,
there you go.
I'll take it. And then we've got Inktober, an Inktober sketch by Nesuno Y59, The Best Bromance.
There you go.
I just liked it for its cartoonish drawing.
Yeah.
It's got that real pop head, bobblehead like skew to it. I thought it was cool.
Yep.
The different proportions to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Big head, little feet. Oh.
Yep, that's pretty much what Pop does. Okay, on to my picks. We have Master Chief by Renato Hazel. And this is just a really cool Master Chief top body with the Halo 4 kind of inspired armor because it has the gash on his armor. And it has the braille dots, which is very akin to Halo 4. I thought this next one was the Grunt riding a ghost. It's so cute. Happy Halloween by Walbrid on Reddit. It's a grunt who's flying away in a ghost, and the front of the ghost has a sheet over it with the typical ghost dots drawn on it, and he's flying by with a bucket of candy.
Honestly, this is probably one of the more ingenious ones I've seen.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Yeah, it really is. I thought that was really clever and really cute. Next one is Halo Ring by Feruza Vostok, and I just thought the vibrance of the colors, how it kind of meshes well with there's certain like highlights of the ring and the arc, and then you can see some of the shades and I forget what the part in the middle of the arc is called. It's not the Foundry, it's something else though, but having just that dynamic different pieces within this piece, and I thought it looks really cool. And then the next one is also very appropriate for the season that we're in. This one is Halloween Halo by Spartan CA, and you have creepy pumpkins with the what's the helmet with the skull in it from Halo Reach?
Hungry?
At that point, I don't think hunger is an issue anymore.
Haunted.
Oh, haunted. Here we go.
Overall, it's just a really appropriately Halloween-themed piece. I thought it was really well done. Looks like it could be pastels, maybe pencil drawing. And then this was really cool. I don't know if you guys watched the video to this one or not, but this guy made a like legitimate health pack from the Halo games. Like he modeled it, he 3D printed it, and mounted it above his workspace, and actually had little medical things in there. He has antiseptic pads, he has tweezers, band-aids, medical tape. So whenever he's working on his workbench, if he needs something to patch up, so he said in his video he cuts himself on things normally. Not intentionally, DJ.
Has he considered biofoam? I mean, everybody else uses biofoam.
I don't think biofoam's been invented this century yet.
Well, then he needs to
That's what
catch
super
Get on it.
We're waiting. Somebody's going to have to be the first.
Just shoot
Someone's
super
gonna have
glue
to
in it.
be.
It'll work just fine.
Also true.
The build's really cool. If you have a chance to check it out, definitely check it out. Then there's another video. It's called When You Reload Too Hard, and this is an animation, but they do an incredible job of blending gameplay into animation.
Oh, it is absolutely awesome. I
Yeah.
saw that, and the reaction of the teammate is perfect.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
what?
It's super short. It's called When You Reload a Little Too Hard. Check it out. It is a brilliant piece. It is short, simple, sweet, but it delivers it in a very satisfying way.
And just so you know, it's Halo 3 gameplay on Narrows. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
It
the
is
whole thing's
so
animated.
well done. I cannot pick where they switched.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot tell where they switched from gameplay to action to render. That's how good it is.
Yep. There's probably cross composite because the spikes didn't look like the spikes on the floor at the beginning didn't quite look like how they normally look in Halo 3. But
Like I
that could
said,
just be.
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah. And then there were a couple of Twitter ones as well I wanted to bring up. I've got two left. First one is Craig the Pumpkinhead.
Craig.
What? Oh, reverb. Hello.
Hi, Craig.
Craig is on vacation. He's just a little too dark for today.
I don't blame you, Craig.
There I am as a pumpkin. Do you think I think with my own seeds?
It's a good question. I don't know.
If you put
If you put candle in mouth, will I light up?
Well, there you go. There's your evidence.
I look so peaceful. Maybe I will not throw grunt today.
I like it. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is. So I had that one. And then there's one more Twitter one. Of course, it's Among Us inspired.
Big surprise.
It's a 3D print of Master Chief and Cortana in Among Us. In little Among Us spacesuits.
That's actually hilarious and adorable.
I thought it was cute.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think the Among Us characters are absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're the perfect opposite to the gameplay,
Yes.
to
Yes,
the
they
premise
are.
of the gameplay.
Yep. Simple enough, but effective.
Yep. Agreed.
And then we've got a few honorable mentions in here. Grumpy Elite is someone that we've talked about on the show before. He has a render called Smog. Very interesting contrast of what you have up front with the Spartan being very blue, and then everything else around it being a very gray and green, grimy feel in kind of a downtown district type of setting. This one, we really loved their last piece, so I thought it was just appropriate to show off this piece. But this is from X Veronica again, and this is her doing the mythic skull with the red glowing eyes, and has the text "Let's finish Let's finish the fight" around it.
Yeah.
So we loved her last one. I thought it was just appropriate to make this an honorable mention for this week. And Prestige, I don't know why the Among Us folks are armless. I mean, there's other images where you show their arms. It's just in the game that you don't see them. We've also got Pure Genius Lego, who is Matthew Salvatore, one of the hosts over on one of the Podcast Evolve Building with Blocks shows. So he made this called Shadows of Reach. We've also got a Feet First into Hell tweet. This is something that actually caught the attention of a lot of the Halo community on Twitter. So if you have not seen this animation, this made waves across Twitter, and it is really well done. This is by STU_FX on Twitter, and it's just a hog with ODSTs in it, but it is clean. It is super clean.
It looks really good.
Yeah. It's really, really freaking cool. And then we've got Image Cosplays. We mentioned this in the community section, but his M6S Magnum made it into the spotlight, so congrats on making it in there. And then we have the very last thing in the spotlight, which is Doodle Snickers, and this is a crossover of Halo and Animal Crossing. This comes from Rocket Elijah, who I believe he's one of the folks under the Rocket Sloth YouTube. And he went into Forge and made this. Has little not Animal Crossing figures on a couch, and then he went in and made all the little ODST glyphs. And there's quite a few other things in here too that you can pick out in this screenshot. So that is the community spotlight for this week. Not as much Halloween themed, but there is still a decent amount in there for this go around. We've got a couple of social posts from the Halo Twitter. For Fiction Friday, Forerunners were an advanced species that dominated the galaxy in the distant past. Nearly all Foreigners are believed to have perished after the firing of Halo. Should have seen that one coming.
Right? You would think so.
Except for the ones that left the galaxy. Oh, spoiler. Sorry.
I want them to do something with that storyline at some point. Maybe that'll be a reboot of some kind, or
They've hinted at it in some of the books. Well, I should say they've acknowledged it in some of the books.
right.
Outside of the Forerunner trilogy.
Right. It's just like super brief, though.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I would like to see some more done with that.
Happy 5th birthday to Halo 5. This was a couple of days ago. This was past Tuesday. Whether you've pledged to Fireteam Osiris or Blue Team, we hope you join us in game to grab some more double XP throughout the holiday weekend.
Oh.
5 years.
Yep. 5. Half a decade.
There you go. And then we've got time to dust off the old Needler. Fully optimized. This is for MCC. Fully optimized on Series X and S. 120 FPS in campaign and multiplayer. Split screen improvements and up to 4K on Series X. Available for free to existing owners for those with Xbox Game Pass on November 17th. So there'll be a content update that will enable all of this. There was a little bit of patches that went in that we talked about last week that they've done. There'll be some more work, and there'll probably be a quote unquote quote day one patch for the Series X and S to enable a lot of that extra functionality. 120 FPS though, that's a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get those improvements on PC.
You already have them.
Yeah. I'm pushing everything at 144.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
I totally just. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we got it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a. My bad. My bad. And then we've got challenge swaps. This is this is a Unicheck response to someone on Twitter who they got one of their little unlock codes, and there was a little bit of text in there that led to someone to ask, what is challenge swaps? What is that? So in Infinite, the challenge system is coming back. So all the stuff that we've seen in like Reach and MCC, where you can earn XP through challenges, and like certain challenges lead to unlock as well, as we've seen in Halo 5 and MCC. That similar kind of system is coming back to Infinite, and you will be able to swap out a challenge. So if there's a challenge that you think is too difficult or you don't want to deal with, you will have the ability to swap them out. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, new stuff! I don't want it. No, take it back. I don't want it. It's not Halo.
Wow. I'm just, you know.
Yep. Oh,
Can
actually,
anybody
people.
figure out how I feel
Coming.
about the latest drama?
I couldn't tell. The next piece of news that we have is an article from Bloomberg. Chris Lee has left 343.
A while ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not new.
Well, it's
And-
new in the public eye, but right. So
Here's the thing.
Well, people
Yeah.
need to know the time frame on this.
Yeah.
I mean,
And people panicked and went into a complete freaking breakdown over something that happened how many months ago?
how many, DJ?
I believe it was 4.
has it
Regardless,
really been that long?
here's the thing. Regardless, this is where it's going to get into the whole DJ's about to it's about to just
Well, so
lose his mind
so
with the community.
save that for the later part. Let's just talk the facts now, and we'll get into the whole response thing.
So
little
Chris
bit.
Lee stepped back from the studio and is still working for Microsoft. He's still working on Microsoft games, but he's not in control. He's handed those responsibilities over to the new directors, and the new studio is great, as is the normal process of how a gaming studio runs, people. That's normal. You find out what works, where people's passions lie, and maybe it's time to put different people in different positions and see if you can get a different result. There's nothing else to be said.
I mean, obviously,
More on that in a little bit.
part of the reason is he was not happy with his position. I wasn't happy with my position after 25 years, so I changed positions to another company. Does that mean
Yep.
my abilities are dead? No. Does it
Yep.
mean that my passion for the job is dead? No. Does it mean the guy that I quit working for is an idiot? Yes, but that's beside the point. No, it's just, I wasn't enjoying my job. So I moved somewhere else. So just because someone leaves doesn't mean it's what things have blown up to.
Right. There's some assumptions in here. There's a lot of speculation. We'll dig into some of this stuff in a little more detail when we get to the main meat of the show. But the bluff of it is Chris Lee is now not working at 343 anymore. He's still within Microsoft Game Studios, but his time with Halo is done for now, at least.
Yep.
So more on that in a little bit. And then you have your last chance to win the Swarovski limited edition Nerf Halo MA40 blaster, the pink one. You're going over to aka.ms/Halo Game Pink MA40. All the proceeds for that go to the National Breast Cancer Foundation for breast cancer research and awareness. If you're listening to this via the download, it is too late because there's only 12 hours left on this giveaway. But basically,
So get in and get it now while you can.
yep. If you're listening here on the show and you want a chance to get it, basically every dollar is 10 entries, and you can get up to 5,000 entries to win this blaster.
Too late.
Yes, if you're listening us to the download, too late, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Yep. On over to the community highlights, we have Forge Hub having their Forge the Fight top 10 finalists. So they've actually been streaming a little bit of this over on their Twitch channel, and they've come down to the top 10. There is Carnival by D-Door, Main Stage by Sam Malone XBL, Ari by Tim7, Genesis by Zombie Villain, Traumatica by Danger Tanner, Athlon by Arthur Bloodshot, Mirage by Evader, Gauntlet by Sir Veza and the Grim Dealer, Serpent by Cabe, and Ballistic by D-Door. That looks like it was 2 by D-Door. They will be having judging for
Is he
the
related to
final
DDoS?
3. DDoS. Maybe it's just a typo. They will be having Unishek, Blaze, and Nated as guest judges. That'll be happening tomorrow on Friday to judge the final 10 maps and determine the top 3 winners.
Girl.
Yeah. All the maps that were just listed off, the top 10 finalists, can be found in the Forge Hub live file share. There you go. We've also got another article from Haruspis, Jameson Locke, a study of Halo's most underappreciated character.
Underdeveloped.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Problematic, troublesome, and difficult.
I mean, he's got a decent backstory. It just sucks the way they delivered it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much. We'll just leave it at that.
Mm.
On the community content side of things, we've got our friendly podcasts doing their stuff. We've got episode 150 for HCS Pro Talk, episode 119 for Mission Debrief, a Halo Shadows of Reach podcast. I don't know if that's spoiler free or not. Probably err on the side of caution.
Yeah, I believe that one is not a spoiler-free cast, so...
Okay. Finish the Fight has their bonus episode 14, Who Are the Insurrectionists? That should be an interesting listen, because that's something that we don't see get touched on too much in the extended lore.
They're the dead ones. Oh.
We've got Sacred Icon Halo episode 52, appropriately titled Therapy Session, and Carnage Report Shadows of Reach Part 1, which is a kind of spin-off from the kind of producers and community management side of Sacred Icon. So it's not Brian and Josh, I'm blanking on their names, 2 other folks that are part of the Sacred Icon Halo community. And then we've got Halo Outreach Podcast episode 52. On the YouTube
I will
side
say
of things,
I'm about halfway through Shadows of Reach, and I'm enjoying it very much.
good. I haven't started because I'm still on.
I will be waiting for Dust to catch up.
Yes. On the YouTube side of things, I'm going to pull out a couple of ones here. We've got Installation 00 doing a full revisit on the Halo 3 terminals, where he himself, plus a few other guests, he has Steve Downs and Tim Dadabo and Kat Peterson making some guest appearances in this series, but he's doing a complete look at the Halo 3 terminals, including doing some analysis on them, reading through the terminals, like all the text that you see there, actually putting some voices to it and some dialogue, so it's a fully immersive experience of the terminals. It's pretty interesting. The whole thing together is almost 2 hours long if you have that time to kill, but it's all 7 terminals, all difficulties, like all the text you would see throughout all the run-throughs, the difficulties, whatnot. They look at everything.
Yeah, I've never had the patience to read through all that.
I actually made a little website where it had the text and you could click it, but then someone on HBO made a Flash version of it, which kind of rendered mine useless. Some UK folks have gotten the Xbox Series S early and for free.
Gee.
Or the Series X.
There's a bunch of people who got their X's early. So Xperia got his X.
Ubernick.
Green Skull, Ubernick, they all got their X's and did unboxings. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, the tech YouTubers have had them for 2 weeks now.
Right.
2-3 weeks. So
Yep. Yeah, that's true. We've got a video from Ascend Hyperion. This one's titled Halo Infinite Armor Coating is Better Than You Think. It's an interesting take on the different combinations that you can get from previous customization with the colors specifically, and he actually does a survey and puts some statistical analysis to things. So it's an interesting watch. I'm personally not entirely convinced on his survey results, but it does kind of give perspective into
the one thing I will say about his survey is, yes, it's a limited sampling, but the only people that have the capability to pull off a complete survey is 343.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
There's
why
no
are they
way
trying?
any single YouTuber, no matter how big they are, can survey the entire population of Halo.
right.
They're going to be serving the echo chamber that is their subscriber base.
Yeah, and that was kind of my. It's like, yeah, it's cool that you've done the survey, but you're focusing on a very targeted.
What the survey does show is trends, and I would
within that
targeted
community.
Targeted
Yeah,
trends.
within
Right.
that community, it is.
But
yeah,
I would venture. I'm not even part of his community, and guess what? My coloration follows his trends.
yeah,
Imagine that. So I gotta imagine that even in a larger survey group outside of his community only, the trends would tend to go in a similar direction. It might be a little bit whiter, but I got a feeling that it wouldn't grow by an exponential amount.
maybe not. Maybe we won't know because that kind of survey won't be done.
We'll never know
So
for sure.
it's like
The only thing we could do is, petition 343 to release that information,
right,
which they'll never do.
Yep.
Because they honestly don't have time to do it.
Next video is Rocket Sloth. They have an hour-long deep dive into the I Love Bees promotional campaign for Halo 2.
Which is absolutely awesome.
I started watching it. I haven't had a chance to finish it, but just the start of what I've watched so far, like Rocket Sloth has done a really good job at whatever they're going into. They dig in and try to find all the details into what they're working on.
And they really dig into the community to find this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a lot of stuff, they'll get CIA involved over
CIA,
at Halopedia. Tupac, in this particular instance, they got a hold of someone that took part in the I Love Bees ARG from the very beginning, before people figured out it was part of Halo. Because a lot of people don't understand that this ARG started, and it was a while before people figured out it was part of Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean like 3 or 4 days. I'm like months.
Yes, it was at least weeks before any kind of connection was made between the two. Generally, he has his normal crazy stuff that he does. One of them from this week is Fish Infected by the Flood, which is just a really weird video.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that one. I watched it, but imagine a trout with 8 sets of legs.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand that mod.
No, well, I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know.
Although he has been doing some stuff with the Crooked Cop and ODST that is really interesting.
Yep, seeing how the game scripting works. Mr. Monopoly found a new Da Vinci egg, and this one's actually in Halo 2, which has never been found before.
Interesting.
Yeah, on the Great Journey mission. The very last one in Halo 2. And there's an extra. This one comes from DB Geek. He has his YouTube cut of his gameplay with Marty O'Donnell.
Cool.
Yep. And then on the art side of things, not a lot actually happened, but there is one from Vin Gattuso. This one's very appropriate. It's titled Never Let Your Guard Down Around Alpha Zombies. He made the art along with Ezel VFX, which is always cool to see artists kind of come together and put their strengths together and come up with something really cool. And then we've got Tom Jurassic. Apparently I prompted him to do these when I tagged him in Halo art. I'm like, hey, I'm curious to see what they're going to do for Halloween. So there's a couple of different ones that he made for kind of Halloween. And the one that I liked the most is the monster in the dark gets all of us eventually. If you thought the demons were bad, you haven't met him yet. And this is a back shot of Atriox with his mace.
Atriox.
Yeah. Really cool atmospheric piece. Heading on over to our community musings, would you like to take the Trivia Tuesday, GT?
Sure. Where? Oh,
It's the same spot it always is.
Oh, you stop it. You didn't start it off with Trivia Tuesday.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
See? Dust broke it. Did you know that prior to its cancellation, Halo Online had a few multiplayer maps that went unreleased? One such map was called Skybridge. To learn more, visit halopedia.com.
Org.
Or, sorry, .org. I screwed that up.
Yeah, most of the stuff's .com, and you have to watch for the .org and .nets every now and then.
And .ca. And, oh.
Yeah. From GT Halo, we have the results of their Paint Row Raid tournament that they had last weekend. Congratulations to Border Control, which consists of Coil, Valid, Wasp, and Quiet. GG's to the Aussies who forced a bracket reset in the finals, but came up short. So it sounds like it went well. I haven't had a chance to watch any of the VODs. Obviously, I was camping last week, so I didn't get to watch it at all. But I hope they do more of this kind of stuff. And then we've got the Sin Hyperion working on a spooky set of maps in Halo 5. So remember all the winter-themed ones that we got? I guess over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been working on a spooky version.
Cool.
Yeah. The one that he's been showcasing so far is Plaza.
Oh, it's
Hello,
Spook
Plaza.
Yeah. If Halo 5 gets the vote tomorrow, I don't know if this is in the file share yet. Hopefully it is, but if so, then this would be a cool one to try.
Actually, tomorrow's is preset.
MCC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. GT's got some game types he wants to play. This would be interesting. I'm going to be playing that and modding DJ's chat tomorrow.
Right?
Well, provided I can find some more maps and game types that are actually connected. We'd find all kinds of good maps, but the game type that's associated with them never got put up on the file share.
Uh-oh.
And since I don't know what the game type is supposed to entail, I can't exactly build the game type either.
That's when back in the day you had forums that actually documented all the game type settings. Let's move on to our main topic of tonight, which I've labeled in the show notes From Doom to Bloom.
What? Yeah.
Because ideally we'll talk some sense into people tonight.
Yeah,
No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You think they have sense?
I'm gonna go ahead. Can I just let loose now?
They pretty much have proven they don't.
Let me preface this a little bit.
Okay.
So this is obviously off the heels of the announcement that armor coatings are replacing primary and secondary colors, which people weren't happy about. So there was that whole thing. We touched on it briefly last week. And now with Chris Lee leaving the studio, a lot of people are
3 months ago. Oh,
to put it gently, concerned of the current state of Halo's development. There are a number of factors that have played into this. We know that there are definitely some issues that people are not happy with in the community. I think we've all made that abundantly clear in one way or another. Armor coatings is certainly one thing. People are missing their customization and some basic ability to do that, and we're getting that kind of ripped out. Makes sense that people are not happy about it. Chris Lee leaving the studio is a pretty big impact as well. The whole thing with Twitter yesterday, we'll get into it, but there is...
I'm really glad that I didn't even look at
let me finish setting the stage here.
Twitter yesterday.
Yep, do it. Set it. Let's go.
Let me finish setting the stage here. So, Bloomberg reported this yesterday, and this is kind of our first public acknowledgement of, hey, Chris Lee has stepped away from Halo. There's the whole thing with Joe Staten being brought on board, and Pierre, I forget what his last name is, who was working on the MCC side of things, shifting over to Infinite. There's just changes in management and leadership and responsibilities, which led to Chris Lee leaving the position that he was occupying for, as far as one of the main leads. In the Bloomberg article, we have a quote from Chris Lee. Say, I've stepped back from Infinite and I'm looking for future opportunities. I believe in the team and confident they will deliver a great game, and now is a good time for me to step away. There's obviously some speculation of why Chris Lee left. There are people that have insider knowledge. There's people that have had conversations with some of the devs, and there's a whole bunch of different things out there. And regardless of everything that could be happening, we're going to talk about the possibilities and how we should respond to them.
Yep.
So, DJ, as politely and politically correct as you can, let's start this train off.
I'm going to go ahead and just preface this with the fact that we are going to do our best to portray this in the most professional and appropriate manner, since we have viewers from all ages tuning in right now. However, I will say there may be the occasional language slip up that's not going to get covered by the button. That will get covered in the audible version of this show. But for right now, you, with the viewers at home, please be prepared. If you have other members of your household who are under the age of 18 or may be impressionable, now's probably the time to put your headphones on. If you're under the age of 18, please be a responsible viewer and ask your parents or guardian before continuing to watch this section of the program. I am about to get very honest, and that's why Duststorm has his popcorn. All right, we're just going to start off with that.
I actually do have popcorn for our audio listeners. I went and made popcorn for this.
And I have very spicy ice water because there's reasons.
Spicy?
Yeah. Here we go. Let's start off with the fact that there seems to be a confusion as to the relevance of people's importance when it comes to the world of Halo and development and how this all works. And I want to be very clear on a few things. There are times in which you should decide which hill you jump upon to thrust the sword into the air and to cry, havoc, let loose the dogs of war. There are other times when you need to stop being an idiot and let a company do its job. I understand people want to have their ability to shade their armor and do things, and nowhere at any point in time has that Halo ever said that, guess what, you're not going to be able to customize your armor with any colors whatsoever in our system. Let's be very clear about a few things for starters, and I'm going to go ahead and get into this real quick because this has pissed me off to no end, and at the moment, it is not Halo ruining. It's not 343 ruining Halo. It's the community ruining the experience for the rest of us.
Yep.
Who've been enjoying it and have a capability and ability to enjoy the game the way it's being designed by the people that we have trusted to do this, who've been doing this for a while. And anybody says, but it's not classic Halo. Well, really? Would you like Bungie back? Look what they did to Destiny. You want that? Any of you who've ever played Fortnite are the reason why this new revenue stream is the problem. If you don't like microtransactions, well, guess what? You're not even play for the multiplayer. The opportunity for us to have a free multiplayer means that we are able to bring in an extraordinarily diverse and huge community of new players who maybe didn't have the ability, the interest, or the option of playing in the Halo universe until now. Maybe this is what brings them in. Maybe this is what enlarges our family beyond what we currently have. Do you think that's a good thing? I do. If you don't want to buy the skin, don't buy the skin. It's such a simple situation. I can't believe people are still about it. Okay? Real simple. It's cut and dry here. All right? If you really feel like it is an armor that defines who you are in the game, well, guess what, kid? You've had to change your armor and your stylings and your colors and your options for the last, I don't know, every iteration of the game. It changes every time because we have a new creative outlook, a new creative option, and new developments, not only in game design, but in how it's controlled and what's being offered. Whether you're looking at the Halo Reach design for all the little intricate customizations that we all fell in love with, whether it's Halo 4 and your ability to have different loadouts, whether it's Halo 5 and all the cool little things and armors and designs and stuff that you got with the card system, all new, all different each time. And it has all been at the behest of the visionaries that have given us this universe for the last, 20 years? And
Overall,
now
yes.
you're going to bitch about it? So let's put some things into perspective. We've got a multiplayer that's coming out for free to everybody. And guess what? You can earn these skins and items and elements in game, or you can buy them. There you go. Super simple solution. Did anybody bother to read that far? No, they decided to jump on the bandwagon of, oh my God, I'm going to lose my keys because I can't manage to get what I think is going to be mine, even though you don't have a game to actually verify that what your fears are even true. Stop panicking, sit the down and wait for the game to come out before you come out with 8,000 hours of content decrying why you think 343 is destroying the game. Guess what, punk? It's not your IP. Stop telling people how to do their job. I hate to break this to you, but if it was that important, that your opinion was so unbelievably important, they would have hired you. And if they didn't, there's a reason. There's a reason. And I can be the guy that says, hey, guess what? They would have asked you. Do you know why? They asked me. And I did my job. So let me say from experience, nothing that 343 does is not without a very meticulous and calculated manner of educational analytics and a background of experience that feeds into this. I did not understand why I was hired to do what I did, but I did it anyways. And I learned an extraordinary amount in my life from that experience. And therefore, I personally know firsthand that Bonnie and Kiki and John and the entire team from the upper echelon down into management, down in design, know what they're doing. And there is a purpose and a reason behind it. If you've never developed a game, you don't get to have an informed opinion about the situation. You think just because you're a player, you get to dictate exactly what should be coming out? It's not your vision. It's not your project. It's not your dream. Sit down, wait for the game to come out, and let these people do what they are talented and skilled enough to pull off, because that's what they're hired for, not you. If you are so hardcore out of ideas for what to do with your content, and you're a YouTuber, and the only thing that you do, and the only thing that you're known for is Halo, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out here. There's other games out there to play in the meantime. If you can't come up with another idea and the only reason people come to your channel is because you're just a Halo guy, you may be in the wrong business. I hate to say it, but if people aren't showing up because you're not doing Halo content, be creative. Think outside the box. Try something new. Try something positive. But your fear-mongering panic tactics of clickbait bullshit has reached an absolute epic proportion of lunacy that has gotten people like me, who have been an advocate and a positive advocate, to a point of absolute frustration where I've started avoiding Halo content on social media and elsewhere because I don't really care what all of your fear-mongering, panic-stricken insanity has actually provided. And it's provided nothing. Nothing. Chris Lee left the studio. Does that mean there is trouble for Infinite? No. And yet Nick Respawns over here has got one that says, let's talk about the microtransactions and Halo and if it could possibly work. Or there's a lot going on right now. Armor Coatings, 343 studio heads leaving, Infinite's in trouble. Is it though? Is it, Nick? Are you and your 62 followers the voice of reason when it comes to all things Halo? Or maybe is there another way you could come about this that's less shticky and more based in reality? I have reached the precipice of my patience with the inability for people to think logically and to use logical deductive reasoning in the processes of going, okay, maybe this could work, maybe it couldn't. Maybe these people have an idea about how to do their jobs and they might know more than me. Guess what? They probably do. I have had somebody argue with me that, hey, we shouldn't have to pay for the games, we shouldn't have to pay for the armor, and they're getting paid by Game Pass anyways. Really? That's your argument? Let's go ahead and break it down and do the math, because here's something that I think that people don't actually realize. There's a whole lot of marketing and elements into this. So everybody who says, hey, guess what? We've got all these Game Pass users and $15 a month. Now that's 15 if you're using Game Pass Ultimate like I am, because I play on PC most of the time, and that's where I would like to stay with. Okay? But if we're just doing $10 a month, that's fine. $10 a month, Xbox Game Pass, you get your Xbox Live Gold, access to over 200 plus games in the Xbox library, and you get to play with your friends in some of the greatest games ever to come out on Xbox. And I say that because I believe that. There's a reason why I have Game Pass Ultimate until 2022, because I love the program. But let's go ahead and break it down for everybody who's like, yeah, but they're making money from Game Pass. Here's the real shtick of it. Anytime you're going to make a profit off of a product, you need to have 2 times your cost plus the time spent doing it. So Game Pass at $10, or in case it's a really go high, $15 a month, covers logistics, network, all of the employees involved. You've then got to talk and consider about the fact that Game Pass is also supporting the Microsoft Game Studios. You've got to understand how much of that funding is going to be also attributed or at least siphoned into studio acquisitions, game development, marketing, physical marketing, all the cards, all the things that they do, all the places they go, the people that they send to events, event management, event investments, buying spots on TV, buying spots on Twitch, buying spots to advertise back on Mixer when it was around, buying commercial spots on YouTube. These are not cheap items. These all have to come from somewhere. And then, so once you've got down there, so let's cut that in half. Let's say 50% of that budget is your marketing and your investment and your R&D. All right, 50%. And that honestly is a lowball figure. We're talking that's probably pushing it up there to 60, 65. But we'll go 50 just for the sake of conversation. Okay, you're down to, at the $15 marker, $7.50 a month. How many games are in the Xbox library? There's 250, right? $7.50 divided by 250 studios. Now, is that division happening based on the number of users, the number of times the game is downloaded, the size of the studio, the number of games the studio has released, or the number of games the studio has on Game Pass? And add in Bethesda. We're talking pennies on the dollar, people. And do you know who has that information? Not you. Not me.
None of us.
Microsoft has it.
If
so anybody who says, but that's not what
on Game Pass, one subscription, 1 month makes 6 cents per game.
Yeah, and that's at at the $7.50 mark.
That's at $15 a month. At $250,
that's 6 cents.
6 cents a game.
So figure 3 cents, because half of that is going towards every other budget that I already mentioned. So now we're talking about 3 cents per person. All right. So somebody who's good at the maths, I'm not. I'm going to look at in GT because he's smart. Not that you're not, Dusty. I'm just saying that you have popcorn, and I don't want you to get your phone battery. Now, GT, add 3 cents. Figure 100,000 users. 100,000 users on Game Pass. 3 cents. What's that come out to?
I was going to do some different math.
You can do some different math, huh? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Hold on. There's a reason why I'm doing it in this order.
That's
so
$3,000.
That is $3,000. Divide that by 60.
You know, that is.
Divide that by 60 because the game is $60, right?
That's 50.
That's 50.
So 50 copies of the game, 100,000 users, $50. This game is being distributed to a crap ton more people at a cost to the studio. These people are my friends. They are people that we know. We go and visit every year, if not more so. I know their kids. I go to dinner with them. I will go up to Seattle just to visit them. Someone, somehow, i.e. you, the gamer, has to pay for their ability to feed their children, to keep the lights on in their home, the internet on, etc. Someone has to pay that. This revenue stream, and for anybody who doesn't get this revenue stream. If you've played Fortnite, here we go. You fed into this mania. This is all your fault. It's all of our faults. We played it. Let's be honest. And to be quite frank, it's not a shut up. It's not a bad idea.
I didn't buy anything though.
It's different. It's very different, but it does make money. All right. It does make money, and it gets a larger swath of people in there, and it is a different style. Have we done it before? No. Is it our game to make that decision? No, it's not. And I'm going to throw this down. It's probably also not entirely 343's decision, because they answer to Microsoft Game Studios, which is under the head of Xbox, and that's Phil Spencer. Okay,
under the head of Microsoft.
One thing I got to say, with Halo 5, we had our first introduction to microtransactions. Look what we got for those microtransactions. We've got all the expansions for free.
Yep.
We didn't divide our player base between expansions, which every other Halo game did, regardless of how much they charged for the expansions, whether it was $2 or it was $60. You divide your player base when you have purchasable expansion packs. I'm not saying it's a bad model, but one of the complaints I always had with the older Halo games is I bought the content, but I couldn't play it because there's people, not everybody purchased the content. So I'd go into matchmaking, and if I wanted to find a game, I had to go into the classic playlists where no DLC was, because there was limited number of people playing in the DLC playlist.
And if there is one thing that Halo proved, 343 proved, especially this last summer, not this summer, nobody proved this summer, we're all stuck in our houses.
I already
It's
got
that it is that 343 values and cherishes this community, as they should.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who knows what we do in Seattle for PAX West every year understands the incredible, expansive, dynamically robust, and diverse family of a community that we celebrate with every year. And we've gone to each other's weddings. Some of us are scheduled to actually marry members in the community and perform those services because they're our family, and that's what we do. I bring this up because I am irritated. I am irate that people are treating 343 in this manner. I am irritated that there are death threats being sent out, and there is absolutely baseless, horrid, rude, and uneducated things being put in videos, in content. And I will be the first one to jump on this bandwagon and say some of us aren't saying anything about it. I've stood by and watched it happen. And as an attempt to ensure that I am properly not getting involved in the drama, I have in error substantiated these toxic individuals' ability to continue thinking that what they say is not only just acceptable, but it's right. And the fact is, it's not. As a community, if you see a family member getting laid into, getting yelled at, getting attacked, physically, verbally, or otherwise, how many of you stand next to them and look and go, we don't. We jump in there and we're the first ones to stand in front and say, no. You don't get to do this. Not today, not ever. If you want to say it politely, you say it correctly, you provide constructive criticism that is based somewhat in the realm of reasonable logic. Don't come at us with this unbelievably unearned entitlement as though the studio is obligated to owe you something. They aren't. And you don't deserve it.
Yep.
And that's not directed at anybody in this chat. That is directed at the users who may be listening to this, who think that for some reason, this level of aggression is even remotely acceptable. Starting tomorrow, I full on plan on standing up and making a voice to be heard and saying, no, you don't get to treat my friends and my family and this community like that. You, in fact, are the minority. You are the toxicity that we are trying to weed out and remove. If you don't agree with how the studio is doing it, fine. Get the educated background and experience to do a job there. Get in and change something from the inside. If you don't have the gusto, the guts, the intelligence, or otherwise to do so, then don't about it. Play a different game. But do not sit there from the privacy of your anonymity provided by social media as if for some reason you are entitled to have the world listen to your garbage that is based entirely on a false narrative. I'm done tolerating it. I've reached the point where I've hit my limit. I'm no longer accepting that. I would sooner make out with a rubber chicken, and I've actually done that before, and I'm not planning on doing it again. It was an awkward moment. Poor decisions being what they are. What? I gotta get
even bring
5
it up?
seconds. Because levity. Now
we know why
That
stealth
be-
chicken exists. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
That being said, this is why it's a problem. People panicked and freaked out, and I saw Facebook posts and posts in my Discord to the point where I had to put a stop to things being said in my Discord. So I'm like, look, here's the thing. You don't know the situation.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened. And your perspective on the fact that this means that this is the downfall of the franchise. Is it though? Is it? Are you there? Do you understand the ramifications and the obligations, not just of the studio, but of the studio heads, the board of directors, and their obligations to Microsoft Game Studios and to Microsoft, the parent company, as well as the investors, the backers, all of the different marketing relationships that are involved, from the toys, from the clothing, from the drinks and the food. There are obligations that have to be met. You can't make statements like that with any sincerity and feel as though you know what's going on. Educate yourselves and think before you type. Think and look and read before you go out making brandishly, ridiculously, and absurd statements as if you know better. Because unless you work there, unless you are part of that marketing team, you don't know.
Yep.
And it's that simple. If you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. Like we said, there's 249 other games on Xbox Game Pass that you have plenty of opportunity to play and download and have at your fingertips. If Halo is your life, then get on board, start supporting it, and be part of the solution and not part of the problem, because those of us who've been part of the solution are about to become your problem. That is the truth, according to DJ today. And that's what I came here to say. Because
Preview
the
of tomorrow's
community-
podcast on his channel. Or are you even doing Truth or Realities tomorrow?
Oh, I'm doing Truthful Realities, yeah. I got Dot Chaos, and we're gonna be talking about food and growing plants.
Ooh,
Cool.
that'll
Yep.
be interesting.
I've got to say that I've seen a lot of people make the comment that Microsoft doesn't need to have microtransactions to make money. We're paying $60 for the game. Okay. Then they need to charge $150 for the game.
If you want a blanket, yeah.
For the people that cheered for the free multiplayer for everyone. And I went back and I searched YouTube for all the people that talked about Halo Infinite being free to play. Everybody's like, yay, we're going to have this big player base. And then they find out about microtransactions. Oh, boo, microtransactions. How do you think they're going to pay for that free multiplayer?
Yep.
That cost money.
And you're not
Sorry, I
forced
don't
to
have
buy.
a beep button, Dust.
I got you. I got you.
Just remember that companies are going to get the money from us one way or another if we want their product. They're either going to get it to us up front for our initial purchase, or they're going to get us on the other end with microtransactions, or in the middle with DLCs. Instead of having a $20 DLC, nowadays it'd be a $60 DLC. Look at Destiny.
And how many times do you have to buy
For
it?
comparison. I've actually gotten to the point, I've been I've been a pretty avid Destiny player since it launched. And for the most part, I've enjoyed it. But here in the last 2 years, they've been selling this season pass thing, and it's freaking recycled content under different names. You do the same things, but it's called something different. And I'm tired of paying for the same crap over and over again. Twitch Auto Host, thank you for finally hosting Podtacular after being
bro.
in here for an hour and a half. there are multiple ways to finance a game. The microtransactions that they had for Halo 5, I would really like to see the numbers as to where that money went and see how much of that money went into fixing MCC.
MCC is a separate
Still,
piece of the puzzle.
It is a separate deal, but that money went somewhere. Money that went to MCC came from somewhere. Where did it come from? And it may not have come directly from the microtransactions. It might have went into the right pocket, to the back pocket, to the left back pocket, back to the front pocket. But I will bet you that money, in a roundabout way, funded the fix for MCC.
Well,
some executive had to
necessary.
sign off on that money being spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to jump into something real fast that's being said in the chat. I know there's going back and forth the MTX and the FTP models.
Yeah.
So James and Ugloff, both of you are right. That's the problem. There isn't a correct answer to the solution. The correct answer is it is not up for us to dictate what the studio does. The studio is making those decisions based on their responsibilities to who owns them. They are doing what they feel is best for the program based on the analytics and the metrics that are coming down and that they have to look at, and the options and opportunities based not only on market trends, but on the direction that they want this model to go. Now,
And on the demands that come from higher ups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That being said, again, does that mean we can't play multiplayer without engaging in the microtransactions? Nope. Sure doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't. Does that mean that it is different than what we've had before? Yes. But the industry is also massively different now than it was 5 years ago. You look at the presence of microtransactions and the way that the industry was shifted 5 years ago as it was evolving. And then you look at this absolutely catastrophic change. And I don't say catastrophic being negatively. It is a 180-degree shift from where it was 5 years ago because of the availability of cloud gaming, the inclusion of battle royales in their present like incarnation. This is what we're talking about. Like, the fact is the studio is doing what they need to do. Whether we agree with it or not is completely irrelevant. But if we love the story and we love what we're getting with it, then guess what? Accept that change is happening and evolve. And this is coming from the old guy. The old guy.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't have a choice. It doesn't mean whether we have to like it or not. I don't give a shit if I like it or not. I give a shit whether I get to play the campaign, whether I get to play some Griffball. I could just go drive around and explore a Halo ring. Those things, my friends, those are what are important. Those experiences that I get to have with my fellow Spartans in game, with my friends, our community members, that's what's important. If that means I get to adjust how I see the gaming industry and what I pay and where I put my money, that means that's what I do. And for anybody who is so close-minded as to think that we can't change, we can't go forward in this direction, etc., I challenge you to say you don't really have a choice. And the negativity is doing nothing more than tearing our community apart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it is forcing people like me, normally the giggly guy, to get real
Cranky.
serious.
I am looking for two things out of Infinite. A good
Swearing
story
and blood.
and a fun multiplayer. That's it.
Yeah.
If they take the quality of story they pulled off in Halo 4 and they pull off the multiplayer that we had in Halo 5 with some tweaks, I'm not saying it was perfect, but I had fun with it.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I want to play the game and have fun.
Yep.
And right now, I'm really not having any fun with my games because of the crap that is going on.
Like, and I'll be honest, and I've said this to a couple of people, and I know somebody else who's also said this, but it is no longer an inspiration to be a mouthpiece or at least a community leader in the Halo world. Not because of 343, but because people are allowing toxicity and fear to govern echo chambers that are simply repeating the comments and thoughts of people who are short-sighted enough not to understand what they're talking about, to not consider all of the different caveats of what it involves and why it's important that we take a step back and realize at the end of the day, this is a video game. It is the livelihoods of our friends and family and these amazing art directors and developers and voice actors and casting directors and writers and marketing executives. This is their livelihood. But at the end of the day, it's just a video game. And of the 7 billion people on this planet, microtransactions in a video game is at the bottom of the list of things that we as the human race need to figure out how to fix, and to launch an absolutely insane tirade of anger and vitriol and verbal toxicity at people because you may have to pay $3 to $5 for a skin that you could earn in game with XP. Really? Is that the hill you want to die on? Because that's what's going to happen. I personally don't have enough time in my day or to give to sit around and watch that happen. I have far too many other things going on than to deal with sitting back and watch the community tear itself apart about a skin that costs $3 to $5. Also, when something says a $5 value, it does not mean that the cost will be $5. It is an averaged,
there's that whole discussion.
Inflated value. It's a skin. It is a marketing tool. Take your panic and put it back in the lunchbox and put the lunchbox back under the counter. It's not necessary because you're obviously not leaving your home in the first place.
Is it my turn for the soapbox?
Yep,
Well,
your turn. Get on it, Dusty. Do your thing. It's your show.
Go ahead, GT.
I want everybody to remember, and this applies to any business you ever deal with, any video game you ever buy. Their sole purpose for existing is to make money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only reason they exist, is to make money. Because that is what our society is. The reason you go to your job is to make money so you can pay your bills. The reason companies manufacture stuff is so that with our money, we will buy that so that they can take our money and put it in their pocket.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what
True.
you talk about. The end goal for any corporation is to take the money that's in our pocket and put it in their pocket.
And in exchange, we get extraordinary entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a trade. It's value added. That is
And
called
if you
the
don't
process.
like that, if you don't like doing that, then don't buy it.
Bingo.
There is no reason for you to participate in any microtransaction system that exists in any game. You don't have to do any of it. You don't have to buy the campaign. You don't have to buy the skins. You don't have to buy any of it.
And Oogie makes a point in the chat that he says people don't have that self-control. Well, that's where a lot of the EU stuff has come into play and trying to make it blatantly obvious that it is microtransactions. And you're
and
right.
that's not on the game developer. That's on the user.
It is.
You know, they have gambling self-help groups. If people have a problem with that, they can join them.
That's why there are parental controls on the devices. That's why there are game controls in with your payment methods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, your turn,
That's
Dusty.
your turn.
Let me turn down the emotional the emotional level of things, and let's try to talk on a level playing field here. As DJ drinks his big mutt
Cold coffee. My big mutt coffee.
Big mutt coffee. So regarding the coatings, yes, Unicheck came out and clarified that it is the coatings is a replacement of the basic colors. We don't know if there will be a collection of coatings at the start. Maybe there will not be any coatings. We don't know. People are upset about it, and you have a right to be. It is a system that is being replaced that has been there and evolved since Halo CE. It's okay to not be happy with it. It's okay to be upset that you won't have a basic set of customization because that's what you've grown with Halo. That's okay. It's not okay to be doom and gloom and be like, oh, the sky is falling. We don't have any customization whatsoever. That's not true. We have customization.
Halo is dead.
It's a different system. It's not a system a lot of people like, especially in the Halo community. We're very adverse to the microtransactions. People will resist change. It's okay. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to not be happy with the changes. You can't do anything about it. So acknowledge that it's something that's changing. Acknowledge that you don't like it. Voice that you don't like it. 343 listens to the community. If there's one thing that they've proven that they care about what the community thinks. Most everyone there is a Halo fan. They want Halo to succeed. So they're going to listen to fan reactions. And if there's a way for them to change it to where they can have primary and secondary colors back in, they will probably look into it. They will probably take the feedback and the overwhelming response that they have gotten and try to make a change. Look at the July presentation. 343 decided, based on fan responses, that maybe we should take a little more time than the timeline and deadlines that were given by Microsoft and Microsoft Game Studios, and however high that chain goes. They had to buck up and press upper management to say, hey, we don't like that the community is not happy with what we've shown them. We want the community to be happy. We need to delay this game. And guess what? They're taking the time to make the game that they want fans to enjoy. Okay? So yes, be upset. Be disappointed. Let them know that. But do it respectfully. Let them know that the things that they're doing, it's upsetting to you. You don't like it. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It's okay to not like something and feel uncomfortable with it. It's totally fine. It doesn't mean that you're wrong or that you are lost of touch with the gaming community or trends or whatnot. It's okay. But talk to people, reason with people, listen to both sides of the conversation. Think of ways that maybe there's a reason why they're doing something the way they're doing. If you can't think of one, then maybe it is a legitimate concern. Maybe it is something that you need to bring up. As for an example, DJ and I had a big talk on Monday or Tuesday when this news broke. And we talked about the whole thing of how the Game Pass money as it gets distributed is really like pennies on the dollar, and how a lot of the stuff that the industry is going for, all of the microtransactions, how a lot of that money is generated in today's day and age of first-person shooters has changed the landscape of what Halo was in when it was being developed by Bungie, and like Halo 4, where that was in the Halo dev cycle, and where we are today. It's like, oh, I haven't thought about it that way. That gives me more insight into why they might be doing something. Am I happy with it? No. I think removing primary and secondary colors was a stupid idea. I still believe it's a boneheaded decision that they made. But it's the system that they decided to go with.
But we don't know what system they went with. We don't know what system they went with because the game's not out yet. None of that has been revealed.
So, well, Uni did say that the codings did replace the basic and primary. He came out and clarified that it is a replacement.
Okay, so I guess we read that differently. Because what I read that is, yes, there's a replacement system, but baseline customizations are still there.
Right, we don't know the extent of baseline customization
than they were before. Right, we don't. We have no idea what's being offered because the game's not out yet.
Right. Yeah. So it's taking that mentality of like, okay, how else could they do some of this stuff and implement some of the feedback that they're getting from the community. So there's that piece of it. That's the armor coatings piece. Does it suck? Yeah. Do I think it was not the right decision? Personally, yes. Do I understand why they did it? Reluctantly, yes. I don't like that it's being put behind microtransactions, but it's their game. They dictate the way that they're going to make the money that they need to make in order to survive as a studio and make the game that we want to make. I'll suck it up and deal with it. That's just where I stand on that argument.
I am actually kind of excited about the armor coating system and the possibilities it brings into the customization of the Spartans.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's definitely pluses to how they're doing the coatings. And the fact that we can apply those coatings to the weapons and vehicles as well, that's something brand new that I'm totally excited about. Like being able to have that, imagine all the things that you could do in custom games, in Machinima, in Forge, with all that coding stuff. It's like, that's really cool. I personally didn't think it was necessary at the sacrifice of basic colors. Even if you went back to like Halo CE where you just choose a blanket color, I didn't think that was necessary to remove. And Green Skull has a video on this where he talks about it. I'm pretty much in full agreement with the video that he came out with, and he feels very similar in that regard.
Just the opposite, but anyway.
And
that's okay. We have different opinions on that, and that's totally fine.
But what I want to bring up, having a different opinion is not the problem. For example, how you just presented it, how Green Skull presented it, respectful, with reason, understandable, and relatable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That, boom.
Yep.
Done. Great. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's the people who get disrespectful and violently toxic about it. That is what we're hearing the majority of, and we are not hearing from the people who are sitting back going, why is everybody so freaking pissed off about this? I'm not pissed off about the armor colors. I'm pissed off about the people who are being vehemently overboard about things about a game that hasn't come out yet, that we don't know. And when it comes out, if we don't like how it works or we feel like this is really crap, we can say something. And you know what? As time has proven, 343 will listen once we've experienced what they have envisioned. But in the meantime, people trying to tell them what to do with a product they haven't even seen yet seems mind-boggling to me.
Right. So my whole expedition of just the armor coatings was, here's a mindset to use as an example when you're thinking about these things. Think about what you perceive as what you think is best for Halo, or what you enjoy most about Halo. Voice your concerns, but be understanding and receptive of as to why certain things might be happening. So, put the armor coating discussion to bed. Let's get on to the Chris Lee thing. So, we know that Joe Staten was brought on to help finish up the campaign. No, they're not redoing the whole campaign. Let's get that perfectly clear.
Who in the hell said that?
Oh, that was one of the big things that Twitter blew up with once Joe Staten was on board. It's like,
God,
campaign is
again.
tanked. It's going to be finally just rewritten and everything. It's like, no, that doesn't happen this late into development. At this point, it's just tidying up what the campaign is. It's probably just experiences. The narrative is already set. In games like this, narrative is set way before assets are being made because you need to know how the story is going to dictate the environment, the gameplay, the experiences. All that story is set in place. All that story is probably set in place 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So before you get on your high tails of like, oh, Joe Staten's going to save Halo, he might be able to change 2-3% of what the underlying vision was for Halo Infinite. To be brutally honest, there's not a lot that he can change. There's a lot of influence that he can has on the final experience of what we might get in campaign of like, hey, maybe encounters like this aren't great. Let's change them to something like this where it's more enjoyable. It's going to be those types of little things that he's going to make an impact on. And honestly, those could be very impactful things. That could make a game from, it's okay, to, wow, I really liked these engagements. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely a big emphasis that we receive as players from little tweaks to the game. But the underlying entire project that's being put together, not that great of an impact as most people think. Now,
Can I just say something on that?
Yes.
Here's the thing.
I reserve my soapbox rights.
Yep, that's fine. Even if Joe Staten's arrival or repatriation of the Halo universe was to do that, it's their IP. Let them do what they want to do to achieve the final vision. How hard is that?
Yep.
It's not your game, people. It is theirs to do with as they please to achieve what they feel is the best product to represent where they want the franchise to go. That's why they own it. Back
Yep.
to your soapbox.
No, you bring up a good point. I was going to bring it later in my discussion, but might as well talk about it now. Halo belongs to 343 and Microsoft Game Studios. Halo is what they make Halo to be. They define what Halo is. They are the developers. They are the publishers. They dictate what that is. We are consumers of that media. You don't go to a movie studio when a movie is announced to say, hey, I'm going to pick through everything and tell you what's wrong and what needs to be pulled out. No. The directors have a vision. The writers have a vision. They're going to execute their vision, and you consume the media they produce. Now, game studios are in a very unique position, and 343 has utilized this position to a great extent, I'm sure of which we actually don't know what extent this is, that they will listen to community feedback. They want Halo fans to enjoy the Halo game. Bungie made a game that they wanted to make and have fun with. 343, in my opinion, based on my experience with seeing how Bungie treats their community and how development happened with the Bungie era of Halo versus 343 era of Halo, 343 is more receptive to community feedback than Bungie was. Bungie wanted to make their game, no questions asked. 343 still wants to make their game, but they have considered what the community has requested. Now, I'm not saying that Bungie didn't do that full stop. Bungie definitely did have relationships with their community. They really valued people that enjoyed it, that provided feedback, all that stuff. But if you watch Vidocs, those leaderships had a vision, and they were dead set on that vision. 343, being a Microsoft entity, doesn't have as much freedom as Bungie does to do certain things with the game. They have to meet monetary goals. They have to meet investor goals. There's a lot more behind the scenes, higher up, unfortunately, political and corporate political crap that they have to deal with to make this game.
And to throw something else into the mix here that I don't think people are necessarily realizing when you're talking about why you would want to expand the user base. When you're looking at the user base for Halo.
Can we hold on that?
Okay.
I want to get there, but let's hold on that for a second. So just keep in mind that 343 wants to please as many fans as possible. Every fan is going to experience Halo in a different way. Certain things matter to them, certain things don't. Like, I know people who absolutely love and adore Halo 5. Misa Red I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she's one of them. She absolutely loves the heck out of Halo 5. There are people that utterly despise Halo 5. And both of them are right to have their own opinions on the game. Just because you don't like the direction that 343 has taken the games, or heck, even the direction that Bungie took from Halo 3 to Halo Reach, doesn't mean you have the obligatory right to go find everyone else who enjoys that title and say, you're wrong. It's their experience. It's basically us saying, you're wrong for not liking the game. And you're going to be like, they've trashed Halo. They don't know what they're doing with Halo. It's like, I disagree. It's like, and both sides are right. Halo is experienced uniquely by every individual. You are unique. You have a unique everyone has a unique perspective of what Halo means to them. Yes. It's one of the things that I absolutely love about this community, because you have things like forgers, machinimators, cosplayers, artists, podcasters, YouTubers, fan projects, fan mods, people that write fan fiction. There's a whole plethora of community content and community activity. You have people that dive into the lore like it's nothing else. Like that's all that matters to them. It's like, respect and understand that people are different. One of the things, like, my wife and I went to a marriage conference in 2017 or 2018 or 19, well, something like that. One of the things that they emphasize is embrace each other's differences. They're there to help you understand different perspectives, different ideals, different ways of perceiving things. Just because you have a viewpoint doesn't invalidate someone else who has a different viewpoint.
Just because you think Sprint shouldn't be in the game doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the game. It just means that you're wrong. Wait, what?
That's exactly what I'm saying not to do, DJ. Thank you for being an example of what not to do. So
I'm waiting for everybody in the chat to just
respectful. I encourage, I urge people. You can have a disagreement with someone. That's okay. If you don't like the direction that Halo's going in, maybe Halo isn't the game for you anymore. Just because it's not what Halo 3 was, doesn't mean that the studio is broken. Doesn't mean that the studio doesn't know what they're doing. The studio is who defines Halo. And we
guess
define
what? If
the
you want to
community.
play Halo 3, they just revamped it. So play Halo 3.
And there is that.
And I'm dead serious about that. I don't want another Halo 3. I don't want another Halo 2. I don't want another Halo CE. I don't want another Reach.
Yep.
I want a unique game.
something new and different. We've been there. We've done those. Exactly.
Yes. And me personally, I want to see a franchise evolve and grow. I don't want it to stagnate and be the same repeat over and over again. If it was going to be that way, you just release more maps or DLC or whatnot in the same engine.
Yep.
And guess what? Halo Infinite is kind of looking to be that way. It kind of looks like it's going to be a platform and they're going to expand upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And our inability to allow them to do that is what's holding this community back. It's also what's driving community leaders and community influencers away from the community.
Yes.
And I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand on that one. To be quite honest,
I'm
I'm
been
kind of
turned
done.
away from the community. This whole,
I've reached the point where I'm just kind of done talking about Halo, and it's not because of anything 343 is doing. When it comes out, I'm buying the campaign. I'm downloading that multiplayer. I'm going to buy what I need in order to play Griffball. Because I can. Because I will. Because I believe in it. Because I want to experience it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I have for the last couple weeks been avoiding the YouTubers, been avoiding Twitter. If it wasn't for the fact that I love our family and friends at 343, I would have blocked the term Halo on Twitter because I'm so sick of the garbage. I'm just sick of the garbage.
I have unsubscribed from every Halo YouTuber that I was following, except for 2.
Please don't tell me any of them are Halo follower.
Yeah, Halo follower left a long time ago.
Thank God, as long as you were never subscribed to him, I'm happy.
Yeah,
Not trying to call people out here. I'm just saying,
honestly,
garbage.
I don't think I ever was. But anyway, no.
Dustin's gonna
the
cut
deal
that out.
is, I'm with DJ. I'm just so sick of the drama. Everything's got to be drama. It's bull. I understand that people are upset about some of the things that have come out about Halo Infinite. That's fine. It's your prerogative.
Yeah.
I don't like the points that Green Skull make in his video because I don't agree with them.
Oh yeah,
but they're his points.
Right, second that.
They're
And he does
his
it
feelings.
respectfully.
They're the way he sees it.
Yep.
And Dust, you're going to get the bleeper ready because opinions are like and everybody's got one.
Damn, I missed it.
Doesn't quite work that way. And the Skype timing would be crazy. Although if you timed it right, I would be really impressed.
Just remember that. Everybody's got their own opinion. And nobody agrees fully. Because everybody looks at something just a little bit differently. That's one of the unique things about being a human.
And for the people out there who are saying 343 ruined Halo, fire Bonnie or completely get rid of the studio or clean house, like Moses, I'm going to call him out.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Moses FPS, and I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
Your emotional flip-flops are worse than my colon after cheesecake, bud. Stop it.
Whoa. Too far, man. Too far.
Is it though?
That didn't need to come out of DMs, DJ. That was
no.
I have no problem
I don't
saying
think our
that. He can
listeners
block
need
me,
that,
and I don't
need
care.
that mental picture. Just because you don't enjoy Halo anymore doesn't mean other people don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hate to say,
I agree. Is that to Moses or to me? Because I love Halo.
If 343 didn't show up, Halo would not exist. Period.
Thank you.
It would be gone.
Yes. Yes, that was another point I was going to make, but yes.
No more books, no more comics, no more games, no more action figures, nothing.
Bungie wanted to be done with Halo after Halo 3. Microsoft made them make ODST one of the best campaigns, and Reach had one of the best customization options and expanded the franchise in ways that has made waves in Halo 4, Halo 5, and will probably continue to make waves. Bungie was out with Halo, so everyone who's saying that 343 absolutely killed Halo, no, they kept Halo alive. They literally kept Halo alive. We wouldn't be playing Halo today if 343 wasn't tasked with the job of continuing the franchise. Full stop. It wouldn't happen. Halo 3 would have been the very last Halo, and that's it. And I guarantee you, very few people would be playing that today if there was no more Halo made after that.
It would have faded back. It would have faded into oblivion. With
there'd be a core, maybe 2,000 people that still play it from time to time. But yeah, Halo, like,
well, a good,
you have to accept that fact.
I think a good comparison would be the number of people that actually play the PC port of Halo CE. They have a pretty substantial player base. I'm not discounting that. But you compare that to what Halo 2 or Halo 3 or Halo 4 for a brief period or Halo 5 have. And you will see that the older games, there are a lot of people that like to play them. And don't get me wrong, I still like to play them occasionally, except Halo 3. At least when it comes to multiplayer. But
right.
The population is nowhere near what it was. And it's not because the games have changed. It's not because 343 is responsible for them now. It's because people's tastes have changed. People have grown up. Most people that are 50 years old that were around when Halo was the hot thing, they're not playing video games anymore.
And here's probably the funny part. I bet a lot of those people who are complaining that 343 ruined Halo have probably at some point played Halo 4 and Halo 5 and maybe every now and then go back and do. There's certainly some that probably don't. But you have to realize that the vocal minority does not represent the target that 343 is trying to hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to hit the player base that comes in at the new release. Like, the majority of gamers, we're a very unique bunch. Well, DJ's has a lot more variety
than everyone else.
Yeah, DJ has probably the most variety of games played out of all the three of us here. I stick very much to Halo. I dabble in a couple other things, but I'm pretty staunch into Halo. GT has a little bit more of a breadth of it, and DJ has a lot more. But
by one game. Yeah.
No, I mean, he does Rainbow. He's done Warzone. He's done Among Us stuff.
You.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the majority of people that play Halo play a whole bunch of different games. So the people that are diehard Halo or like focused into Halo, you're not their target audience. Granted, they want to listen to community feedback, so they are going to take that. They're going to take it with a huge grain of salt. And they're going to see how it fits into industry trends and research. Jesse Thomas, one of DJ's and mine great friends at the studio, or unfortunately she's moving to Xbox still in the Xbox family, but like the research that they put into, like, part of that is taking community feedback. Part of that is looking at market trends, looking at the industry, seeing what is currently supporting game studios. And Ugloff, yeah, there is games out there that don't use microtransactions and they're very successful. The first-person shooter genre,
also very different games.
Yeah, they're different genres, or at least the one you mentioned, Witcher. But like the first-person shooter genre has been massively supported in the recent years with microtransactions. So sure, there's other models to recuperate costs microtransaction is the easiest foot in the door because that's where customers have dictated with their wallets that they want to support games.
Yeah,
We
why
can
do you
all
think mobile
hate it
games
till
are
the
so
kingdom
damn
come.
popular?
But that is where the market is. Do we like it? No. Do we have to put up with it because that's how market trends go? Yeah. If you want to have more Halo, then realize that this isn't the model that you most like, but
Well, for
realize
the-
that this
for
model
the
is going
one-
to support development and the continued expansion of you being to enjoy Halo for years to come.
I want to bring up a point. Single player games are a whole different animal than a multiplayer game like first person shooter.
Yeah.
Single player games take very little to support. Once they're launched, the only support they really need is bug fixes. And then they have downloadable DLCs that you can choose to purchase or not, whether you want to play the content or not. Where a multiplayer game like Halo, granted, the campaigns have been really good with, some minor exceptions. Halo cannot live as a single player game. It needs the multiplayer. And to support the multiplayer, they have chosen to go with microtransactions.
Yep.
That means all the stuff in Halo 5 that we got for free, all the stuff that we'll get through Halo Infinite at probably for free as far as new multiplayer maps.
I can see campaign
Then they'll
DLC being paid, but yeah.
Well, I'm going to say new maps for multiplayer. Our campaign DLC will be a pay for service. I'm sure of that, like a single player model. But the cost of that campaign DLC will be determined by the microtransactions. They're looking at running this game for 10 years.
Yeah.
How long has any other Halo game been designed to run?
Yeah.
2, 3 years?
Yep.
That's an enormous cost that they're absorbing.
And I know Uglov's asking some of these questions because it's important that we actually explain these things. And I know he's playing, in some cases, devil's advocate just because I know Uglov.
Yeah.
But also, it is important that these things are clarified and the conversation is had.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, if they possibly are deciding to separate the entities, because notice there are now 2 studio leads, one for campaign,
One for multiplayer.
one for multiplayer.
Yep.
That would lead me to believe, and this is not fact, this is just a complete and total my thought process. Please don't take this as gospel or anything. It would lead me to believe that they're going to be separating the divisions. Multiplayer's support structure, while also being huge, its big money makers that are also coming from its visibility due to tournaments and competitions. If you've got a multiplayer that is stock standard, you're going to bring out a storyline. And then similar, think about what they did in H4. Think about it. We had weekly releases for Spartan Ops. Look at how much traffic that generated through for Spartan Ops. Massive. So now they create the base storyline. If they're in an open world, as we know it's already going to be, you've now got additional things coming out. The smart thing is you pump out your multiplayer. It's stable. It's doing its thing. It doesn't require a whole lot of because it's already done. Sorry, missed that one. You put the campaign over here and you start adding your DLCs, your campaigns, your storylines, your storyboarding things out. There is a consistent maintenance process for that, the paid part of the game. And you let this entity be completely self-sustained with its MTX. You separate for survivability and you get to look at the analytics. It is not a structure that has been done yet for Halo. And it is a unique opportunity to take a look at the metrics and the analytics, not only for player usage, but for retainability. If that's what's happening, totally understand it. If it's not, I don't care. Why? I'm still buying the whole damn game. I'm still a Halo player. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe if we buy the campaign, you'll get a bunch of credits or you'll get some skins or you get some cool stuff. If it were me, that's what I would do. Does that mean that's what I expect Halo to do? No. But I would imagine if you're going to dump $60 into the campaign while the multiplayer is free, you're probably going to get some cool stuff going. Hey, yeah, I bought the campaign. What's up?
Yep. And I want to touch on a couple other things that Oogie's bringing.
But we don't know until it's released. That's all I'm saying. We don't know until it's released, and we have to stop trying to jump onto that. But wait till it does.
So that's not necessarily a bad thing to think about, but it's a bad thing to get obsessed about. Like because one of the things that the studio is going to try to do is say, hey, this is what we have planned for. And yeah, it's okay to make some of those assumptions as long as you acknowledge that they're assumptions, that you're dealing with information that the studio wants to present to you, and things may have the ability to change based off of feedback. They may not, and your assumptions may be right. But acknowledge that they're assumptions and adjust your feedback accordingly. And to Oogie's point of having the backlash and saying that it's at the cost of the customer, unfortunately, that's where the customer has dictated the industry should go, is microtransactions. Like, yeah,
Sadly.
It sucks. Yeah, like a lot of us don't want to see it that way, but that's how the industry makes the money back. That's how consumers, granted whalers or not, that's how the overall market has dictated is the way to make money and recuperate operating costs.
Right.
I would guarantee you, even if there wasn't microtransactions, there would still be backlash because it's social media.
Yeah, people are going to find a way. And unfortunately, those toxic little individuals are the voices that get spread around, and then it encourages, because they see the traffic, the people who want to make money and monetize off of, hey, I'm going to make a video that's going to talk a lot of trash, will be really, really crazy about things. Well, we're still giving them credence by at least giving them a voice in midst of all of this uncertainty. When there's no voice to be had, there's no opinion to be had. We're making assumptions about something that's not out yet. It's maddening. It makes my hair fall out.
And to reiterate the fact that a lot of this microtransaction stuff, at least for Halo, is going to be purely cosmetic. I know that upsets a lot of people. And given what we've had in past Halo games, yeah, I can understand people being upset. You have a right to be upset. It's okay to voice your discontent with it. Go for it. Tell Halo that, yeah, this sucks. I don't like it. I want the other system back. Do it. Tell them that. I encourage you to do that. But
hold on.
Realize...
But be respectful about it, at least.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Be respectful about it and realize that you're still able to experience a majority of the game without paying into it. Yes, it's cosmetics. Yes, people like to have their own identity in the game. It sucks that we're not going to be able to have it as readily available to us as it has been in the past. Yeah, it sucks. That's where we're at the moment.
So I want to be real clear about this. And one thing that this is the only thing I stand apart from you on by saying it. Once you experience it, then you can say, hey, I don't like this. It sucks. But you can't say that it sucks because you've not played it. You haven't seen it in action. And you don't know how it's going to actually impact the process of the game and what you're able to earn because the game's not out yet.
But you can say that what they've decided to show us, from what people know, sucks.
How do you know? Because you don't have the full picture. You can't say that. You don't have a full understanding of what the implementation is into the game design and into its actual effect based on what's coming in default, what's coming in base, whether you get a credit, whether you're going to get a certain number of colors to begin with. None of this information, which are all valid questions, has been given. Do you know why? Because it builds hype. It builds conversation. It gets the metrics. But more importantly, without the full picture, we can't actually say with any concernable, positive understanding, hey, this is how it's going to work, and that's just the way it is. We don't know because we don't have the game yet, and they haven't given us enough information to make an informed decision. We can't.
All we know is that skins or coatings replace the primary and secondary color system. That's all we know.
Yeah. We don't know what is actually included as the baseline. And rather
Right.
than assume, let's just let it go.
But to that effect, though, you can say, "Hey, this is how I understand things to be. If this is the case, then I don't like this." So you supplement your concern with what you understand, and that gives 343 a picture of, okay, they don't know about this piece. We're actually okay. Versus, oh, this is actually what we're doing. People have a concern with it. We can look at changing it. It's still valuable feedback, whether it's a opinion on limited information or not. It's still
And maybe
it's
that
still a
means
good
they
data
should
point.
release more information. It might
Yes.
help if they clarified things further once they are ready
Yes.
or once they've settled on a final approach to the product.
Here's the
Rushing
challenge.
them
Here's the
is
challenge,
not going
though.
to help.
Right, but here's the challenge, and I sympathize with people in this position. With the delay, 343 still has to maintain certain timelines with marketing partners, with like the stuff that's coming out with the skins. Like
Mhm.
with their delay of the game, they probably would have wanted to lay this out, but they have committed to certain timelines. So some of this stuff is probably coming out in a way that 343 didn't even want it to come out with. They probably had the
They've
schedule
already
of
acknowledged that, Dust. They've already come
Yeah.
out and said that.
right. They have.
They've
Yes,
already
they have.
commented that these promotions have been scheduled for months and months on end. They
And they
could not
couldn't
be
change it.
changed because we changed our launch date.
Right.
They
Right.
are
Yes.
truly sorry that the information that is being released in the way that it is. They wanted to have this release in a way to where it wasn't as jarring.
Yes.
They have not released their entire customization system. I am excited about what the customization system could be, but I'm withholding my opinion of it until I actually see it. Then I'll tell them if it sucks or not. Because
those
the idea
exact
of armor
words.
coatings actually has me a little excited. Because none of my Spartans look the same.
Exactly.
Between CE 2, 3, 4, Reach, none of them. The only thing that has somewhat stayed the same as my emblem. And it hasn't even stayed the same because it hasn't been in every Halo game.
Yep.
Thank you, Bungie.
Yeah.
By the way, because
I change
Bungie's
things
the
based
first
on
one
my
to
mood
delete
every
the
week,
damn
like-
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So-
with that said,
I want people to say, okay, I see this, I don't like it. That's it.
Yeah.
Not, you freaking piece of crap, I want my colors back.
yes. There's two things that 343 is doing with releasing this information. First is hype. Second is feedback, which is why I think it's good for people to provide their concerns. And like, if you're hyped for it, great. Tell them you're hyped. Tell them you're excited for what's coming. If you're concerned, tell them that too. It's not wrong to give a feedback on something that they've shown, even if you don't have the information. It is wrong to say that I know exactly what this is going to entail, hence you need to make this change. You can't tell them what to do. They're making the system. You can make an educated guess based on all the information you know. Think critically, try to think of all the different ways that could be. Come up with your best or worst case scenario and say, hey, this is how I understand you're implementing this system. This is what it feels like you're doing. If this is it, I don't like this. I just want you to know that. And I know we have some fundamental disagreements there. I still think that's a respectful way to respond to what they've shown us. But you can't be down in the dirt. You can't bring other people down and say, this is wrong. This is going to kill Halo. Because guess what? It's not.
Agreed.
The studio is what defines Halo. I'm going to say that again. The studio defines what's Halo. And the market's going to dictate whether Halo's going to be successful or not. And
Yep.
I bet the microtransactions are probably going to rake in a lot more money. And Halo's going to go on. Halo, putting the fun and fundamental disagreement.
Good one,
But at the
Olaf.
same time, I get why DJ is taking the approach he has. He doesn't want to put up with the crap. He wants to be like
Yeah.
DJ overall is a very positive guy who Like, this kind of stuff doesn't faze him. It's like, okay, as long as I can have fun with the game and I have my griff ball and my hammer, I'm fine. And that's a totally acceptable perspective. And I have a different
how long I
perspective.
waited for a hammer in Halo 5.
Right? So,
Long time.
yeah. So,
It came
fundamentally,
eventually.
yeah. And so did a whole bunch of other stuff that wasn't there at launch,
Yes.
like Forge.
Also true. Sandbox breaking.
Like I
Well,
said,
yeah.
mistakes were made on certain games.
Nothing is perfect. That's the thing. And it's a process. And we have to
Yes.
understand that that's part of game development.
Yeah.
Some things break and we fix them.
Yep.
As somebody who's in game development, as a community manager, trust me when I say nothing is perfect out the gate.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Things happen. We say, all right, how can I help? That's what I look for. In my community, hey, that's not working correctly, I don't think. Is it? You're right, that's not. How can I help? Thanks for asking. Come with me.
Yes. Yes.
Same thing with Outpost Discovery. Hey, that ceiling shouldn't be leaking. You know what? You're right. No, it's not. Come with me.
Right.
It's a community effort, people. Get it together. That's all I'm saying.
There's one more point I wanted to make, but I know we're running super late, and I know
Yeah.
GT wants
I'm
to go
starving,
to bed,
and I have to
DJ's
poop.
hungry. But I know a lot of people are probably, or at least this has been a big thing on Twitter, so I just want to address it. And before you guys say anything, let me finish, because I know this is going to definitely raise some blood pressure levels here. So just let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh.
So the Bloomberg article that came out depicted that the Chris Lee departure was because of turbulent development. Let me make one thing. Let me point out a couple things. We read through the Vice. I'm gonna say to that one, but let me finish. We did a 5-part series on the Vice Waypoint article behind the development of Halo, and guess what? Halo development has been in turmoil for every iteration of the game. And guess what? That's just part of game development. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be roadblocks.
Exactly.
There's going to be things that will cause issues, will cause heads to bash. On games that are as big and complex as Halo is, it's just kind of a part of what the development process is. You go through design iterations and you go through, like, look at Halo CE. It was a game for the Mac. It was a RTS. Then it was a third-person shooter. And then within a year of it coming out, it went to a first-person Xbox launch title that had no resemblance to what the game was a year before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's probably some turbulent development going on with the studio. There might not
I
be.
would be worried
There
if there
very well
wasn't.
may be. If that's the case, then let's support the studio and say, hey, we realize that things are hard right now. We realize that communities being is really passionate about wanting Halo to be good, and some things they're really excited about, and some things they're not. Like, we want you to make the game you want. Like, we'd like to see these things, but ultimately we realize it's your game, and I want you to do well, so I'm going to support you. If you're down in the mud on something, if you're just like swamped and you're going through a hard time, you want people there to encourage you, to say, hey, you can do it. Let me know how I can help you. You don't want people saying, yeah, you suck. You can't do this. You're just going to fail because you can't get a hold of this. No one in their right mind would ask someone else to say, hey, berate me because I'm doing a bad job.
Also true.
No one. Absolutely freaking no one. So acknowledge that, yeah, there's probably some issues with development right now. They might be going through some things. If that's the case, it might not be the case. We don't know. It could be one way or the other. Based on the journalist that wrote this up, he has a great track record from talking with people. He probably has some insider knowledge that, yes, there's probably some development challenges going on. But you know what? those will all get resolved. Those will all come through in the end. And we have a delay of the game, which means they have more time to get the game the way they want it. They already listened to fans after the July presentation, and they had to go up against Upper Microsoft, who wanted them to make this a launch title for Xbox to make the Xbox launch a success. They had to go up with courage and support from family and friends to say, hey, we got to make this tough decision. We don't know what this is going to mean. It could mean staff cuts. It could mean the end of the franchise. We don't know. And go up and say, hey, this game is not going to be ready in the time frame that you are telling us to do. You need to let us make this game the way that it needs to be made, or else fans are not going to accept it right, and it's going to tank. We need you to trust us in this.
Yep. Having toured with last summer with Kiki Wolfkill and John Friend and Bonnie Ross, I guarantee you there is not one person who would have wanted to have been in that room when they had to bring that news to Phil Spencer. Not one person. Because that's a meeting probably did not go well. Do we know? Nope, because we weren't there.
Nope.
Can we speculate? Nope, because we weren't there.
That's honestly one meeting I'm glad I wasn't part of.
Yep. And Chris Lee, you
I
know
like
what?
my butt
I
where
love
it
him.
is.
Chris is a great guy. If for some reason they felt that whatever was going on would have been better handled by somebody else, they made a decision. Does it mean that there were errors made? Who knows? Why do we not know? Because we're not there and none of us work there.
And we won't know.
Why is
because
that
we're
important?
Not the studio.
Because therefore we don't get to have an informed opinion. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It happened. And it's over with. And we'll get the game when we get the game. In the meantime, play something else.
Yeah. And another thing I've seen too is people are saying Bonnie Ross needs to be fired or leave Halo. And it's like, ultimately, yes, she has responsibility as a studio, and she accepts that responsibility in her position. Does it mean that every decision that has been made has been her fault? No. It does put a huge weight on her shoulders, and we should respect her for that.
Yep.
Anyone who's in that leadership position, you have to take all the decisions that have been made from the bottom level and have boiled up through all these chains of leadership, and you have to make the tough call of, yep, this is the direction we're going to go. That's not an easy job, which is why leadership gets paid the big bucks. They have to make the huge decisions. And you know what? And I'm just using Chris Lee as an example here. I'm not saying this is what happened. So maybe there was a decision made that because of them having to delay for Infinite, Chris, or someone in Chris Lee's position would say, "Nope, you screwed up. Your decision caused us to have the delay. Time to move you elsewhere." Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened here. I'm just using it as an example because this is the case that we're talking about. And
well, I'll tell you this: that in corporate America, crap really does roll uphill.
Yes, it does. It really, really does.
Yeah.
That to say, regardless of the situation behind Chris Lee's departure, and I had someone else reach out to me who's worked in the gaming industry for years and said that a shakeup like this in upper management usually indicates that there is development issues. Maybe the case. There's the off chance that it's not. It seems like the trend is that, yes, if you have someone in this big position that is leaving, there's development issues. If that's the case,
Well,
that's
we know there's
even
development
more of a
issues.
reason.
They delayed the game.
That's even more of a reason for us to support the studio and say, hey, we know you're going through a tough time. We know that you appreciate what we want and what makes Halo to us. We're going to let you know what doesn't sound right. We're going to let you know what sounds awesome and amazing. But we are going to support whatever decisions you make in order to keep the Halo franchise afloat and give us an experience that you are going to be excited for. And my perspective on that is, thank you for the delay. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to actually enjoy a product that you're going to be happy you delivered to us. And that's going to take account of what the fans have voiced feedback on. And I'm going to finish this up with a Twitter thread that I posted either last night or the night before, because I don't know if I hit everything I wanted to hit on, but this should be a a final summary up for me, and then we're gonna close this out for the night, because this we have not had a podcast this long in a very very long time. It's not delusional to be hopeful and have a different viewpoint. It's not dreadful to be concerned and worry about a franchise you want to see succeed. But there's no reason to bring down those who are optimistic, nor is it okay to shun those who are legitimately worried. However, sowing divisiveness and dread does not help the situation at all. You are hurting the fans of the franchise. You are causing strife for the developers. If you truly care, show it with sympathy, understanding, and encouragement. Doom and gloom has no place in Halo. We can be better. We must be better. If you don't enjoy Halo anymore, that's okay. There's thousands of other games. Don't drive others away who do enjoy the games. Use that energy and effort for goodness and happiness. Halo is a game 343 Industries chooses to make. They are not indebted to us to listen or tell us anything before they release. Yet they do listen. They do communicate where they are allowed, able, and ready to. Sure, we always want more as fans, but it is not up to us. Appreciate what we do have, make your concerns known in a respectful and helpful manner, and embrace the fact that Halo is different to everyone. Halo belongs to 343. The Halo community belongs to us, and we need to nurture and take care of it. We know there are issues and challenges with the development of Infinite. Let's empower and support them so they can make the game we so desperately want, and not just give up and give in to the narrative that Halo is dead, because for many people, it's far from it. When you're down, you want to be encouraged that you are capable of accomplishing what you set out to do. It's our time to be that encouragement and hope. That will give us a great product. Dissension and derision will give us the disappointment we're asking for.
And of course, that was written by the one and only Olivia Pope. So there we go. Watch Scandal, people. Good show. All right. Are we good?
So that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. No fancy outro or anything. I do want to give a shout out to our patrons, Confowl, Pens, Frizzled, and Austin Weebrink. Thank you for your continued support through Patreon. Thank you to all our Twitch subscribers. Check out the Discord for Fraggin' Friday's poll. Well, there won't be a poll tomorrow. It's going to be MCC. So check out Fraggin' Friday tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Hosted by GT. At the same time, have music on by DJ over on his channel starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, podcast feeds, all that fun stuff. It's been a long podcast. This has been your 3.5 hour therapy session. Please, if you have any concerns or questions you want us to discuss on the show, we are more than happy to discuss them, or at least I am. I will talk about them. DJ and GT might have other opinions, but if you...
I'm just gonna go myself.
But with that said, please think critically. Be receptive of how other people feel or interpret things, and overall, support the studio. Let's show them that we care, whether it's concern or praise. Be respectful, and let's give a positive spin to the community. Let's make the Halo community a place where people want to be. And with that, keep on fragging them trucks.
Be kind, rewind.